Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and stay tuned by clicking the bell icon. Messy moments and low ratings. Man City's 3/10 trio flops against Real Madrid. Manchester City suffered a humiliating loss away to Real Madrid as they were dumped out of the Champions League at the playoff stage. It was all about Kylian Mbappé for the Spanish side, who netted 2 goals before the break, including a sumptuous lob just 5 minutes in, before completing his hat-trick midway through the second period. New signing Nico Gonzalez added a late consolation goal deep into added time, but it unsurprisingly wasn't enough to spark a comeback. The 2022/23 treble winners failed to register a shot on target until the 76th minute during what was a humbling evening back in Madrid for Pep Guardiola. Ederson, 4, caught in no man's land for the opener and parried a number of simple saves back into dangerous areas throughout the game. Couldn't have done much for Mbappé's second, but was certainly slow to sort his feet out for the third. Abdulkader Kuzanov, 6, tasked with trying to quieten Vinicius Jr., and despite some early wobbles, the young Uzbek certainly held his own. Unlikely to be deployed as a right-back too often, but he's certainly a bright spark for the Blues moving forward. Covers the ground well and has an eye for a pass. Ruben Diaz, 6, ought to have done much better for the opening goal but simply wasn't strong enough. Uncharacteristic given his usual physical prowess, but the Portuguese international settled into the game and was on hand for several important blocks. John Stones and /A, taken off within 5 minutes with another suspected injury. The story of his season and in truth career. One of England's finest talents who simply cannot string more than 5 matches together. Josko Gvardiol, 5, becomes incredibly ineffective when his side can't get a touch of the ball. Defensively questionable at times, but was left very little help by the high-flying wingers who offered very little defensive support. Nico Gonzalez, 6, was dubbed a mini Rodri by Guardiola following the weekend win over Newcastle United, and has certainly helped add more stability to their midfield. However, the ex-Barcelona Academy product still has plenty to learn if he's to even come close to plugging the gap left behind by his compatriot. Off the mark for goals in a City shirt too. Bernardo Silva, 3. Not for the first time this season, a visibly fatigued Bernardo Silva looked out of sorts as he chased shadows in the heart of the pitch. A fantastic servant for the 4-in-a-row Premier League champions, but his days in a City shirt look like they're coming to an end. Previously so crucial to the winning machines Guardiola had built, the absence of his energy in midfield has been evident during a mentally and physically draining campaign. Ilkay Gundogan, 3. No doubt his last ever Champions League game in a City shirt, having been parachuted in at the back end of the summer transfer window. Had managed to cope versus a reluctant Newcastle side over the weekend, but against the pace, power, and precision of Real Madrid's midfield 3, Ilkay Gundogan was way off the pace. Phil Foden, 6, looked the only player capable of doing anything of note for most of the match, but he'll have to step up and carry City on his back more often, especially if he wants to assume the position of Kevin De Bruyne's heir. Savino, 3, hasn't always been given the credit for his performances in a City shirt this season, but tonight was one of his worst showings. Absent in the final third and left his fullback overexposed on too many occasions. There's a player in there. It's just about consistency for Savino. Omar Marmush, 4. Despite his best efforts, he was never able to grow into the game. It was always going to be a tricky evening stepping into the shoes of Erling Haaland, and without that focal point at the tip of attack, see subs. Nathan Ake, 5. There would have been hearts in the mouths of the City fans when the perennially injured Nathan Ake came off the bench to replace the even more injured John Stones. The Dutchman at least saw out the 90 minutes, which is a mini-win for the Premier League outfit. A lively cameo for the attacking midfielder, who won the free kick, that ought to have actually been a penalty for the Nico goal. It's another contribution for James McAtee across the season as minutes have been limited. Mateo Kovacic, 6, provided a bit of a buzz in midfield when he came off the bench. Granted, the game was well and truly gone by the time he did, but it was a stark improvement from last week. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment, and share.